hard to believe it was 9 years ago when I got my first iPhone. Before that, I had a flip phone, I had a BlackBerry, and in 2010, I finally got my first iPhone. It was my first Apple product ever. I had never had anything from Mac before, and I was really impressed when I got that package. It was unlike any other package that I'd ever gotten a phone in. All the other phones kind of came like they were just thrown in a box and just kind of carelessly put together. But the iPhone box, it was very meticulously designed. Like I remember just opening it up and sliding things out and taking pieces apart, and it just seemed kind of like a puzzle that was extremely well thought out. The packaging demonstrated, expressed, communicated value. We care about this product. This is a work of art. It is beautiful. It is meticulously made. Every single detail is thought out to the T. The packaging of things communicates something about the thing that's inside. That's true not just of iPhones, it's true of many things, but it's also true of the Bible. And the reason that we go to the Bible often, as I said before, can determine the things that we find when we actually do study the Bible. And what the Bible is wrapped up in, various parts of the Bible are kind of wrapped differently. There are narratives in the Bible, stories. There are poems in the Bible. There's apocalyptic, these grand cataclysmic events like in the book of Revelation. There are different types of material in the Bible that are packaged in different ways. And the way that they're packaged, the way that they're presented, gives meaning to the words themselves. The Bible was never meant to be read like a list of rules. 1611 King James, and maybe the Bishop's Bible before that, I'm not sure where the formatting came from, maybe it was that way all along before 1611, was formatted line by line, verse by verse. Every single verse got a new line from Genesis to Revelation. They just typeset it and went. They didn't format paragraphs, they didn't format and indent poetry. They didn't give you any clue of the packaging around what it is that you're reading, so that the Psalms looked exactly like Revelation, looked exactly like a gospel, looked exactly like a letter or an epistle from Paul or Peter. And so we have to really get back in tune with the packaging, the genre, the type of literature that we're reading when we read the Bible. This is going to be extremely important for our Bible study because, again, the packaging helps determine the meaning of the content. So you don't read a narrative or a gospel the same as you would read a list of laws like the Ten Commandments. And you don't read poetry exactly like that either. So in Psalm 51:5, when David says, "Surely I've been sinful since my mother's birth," he is writing poetry. And the heading of that says it was after he sinned with Bathsheba. And so he's in the depths of despair and in agony. He's expressing just how sorrowful he is, just how sinful he is. And so he has this hyperbole. It's not like Jesus says, "Surely I was sinful from my mother's birth." In the gospel, he never says that. But if he had, you would have read that differently than we would read in a psalm. Although we know Jesus says without sin, and so we have to come up with some kind of explanation as to why, in context, he might would have said something like that. But my point is still the same. We read things different based on how they're packaged, based on the genre that they're written in, because the genre is the intent of the author and how they've chosen to package the text up to give it additional meaning. This is very, very important. And in Churches of Christ, when we come to the scriptures, we come to them very flat. It would be as if you were flying an airplane over a mountain range and you just flew right over it as if it was flat. You'd be in for a world of hurt. And the same happens in our Bible study, in our Bible reading. When we read the Bible like a list of rules, like the 1611 King James, where it's verse 1, boom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that formatting just looks like a list. The Bible looked like a list, but the authors did not write lists for all the verses. We do have lists in Chronicles, we have lists in genealogies, but even the genealogy is a genre that's packed with meaning. Like in Matthew, the three groups of 14 and the covenant connections that are within those, they're all packed. The packaging has meaning, just like that iPhone. The packaging has meaning. Think about Proverbs. Here's the wisdom literature. It's its own genre. There were other types of wisdom literature in Egypt and throughout the world. They were not unique, but these are obviously the inspired words of God, which does make this unique. And so you get things like Proverbs 22:6, where the proverb says, the proverbist or Solomon says, "Raise up a child in the way that they should go, and when they are older, they will not depart from it." If you read the Proverbs like a list of rules, you're going to read that as a promise. The Proverbs are general principles. They're not promises. They're not covenant agreements. God doesn't promise you if you raise your child right, I promise that they will turn out fine in the end. It's a principle. If you do this, this will generally happen. You do not read Proverbs like 10 Commandments. You do not read Gospel like 10 Commandments. You do read Jesus' commandment like a commandment, but you also have to understand those in context and in the genre in which it's written. And so we have to start paying attention to the packaging of the biblical literature to be able to understand and appreciate the contours of the scriptures, because the Bible is not just one book. It's a library of many types of books expressing truths through different packaging, different formatting, different genres, different categories of writing. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions on this, please add those in the comments. I want to recommend a couple of books to you that will explain this further. It's Leland Ryken's book, How to Read the Bible as Literature. It's a great book where he walks through the different types of literature throughout the Bible. Excellent read. Another book is by Robert Alter, The Art of Biblical Narrative, and he also has one called The Art of Biblical Poetry, where he walks you through how to read narrative, how to read poetry effectively. These are really good resources, and if you have some resources you want to share, just put them in the comments and let us hear from you on that. And again, give us your feedback, give us your insights, your input, and let us know what you're getting out of these. But I hope it's been beneficial to you. I'm praying for those who are watching this channel that much good will come, that revival will come, that our depth of study will provide deep roots for us theologically, because the Bible is the inspired divine Word of God, and it is so important and useful for us in our doctrine and our practice in our lives. But we have to understand some really critical points about the scriptures if we're going to get more out of our Bible study. And so thank you for watching this. And if you like this and like more things like this, check out more of our videos, and also hit the subscribe link here at the end and at the bottom corner, and just please subscribe to this and add to our followership, add to our viewership as we continue to grow this channel and try to glorify God in what we're doing. I think this is an important message, and I hope that you do too. And so thanks for watching. God bless.